place to this very important issue with respect to child in Title IV, money theft, and the deprivation of our rights, and with respect to the welfare of the American family. And we're excited about our first guest with you tonight, Jacqueline and Jamie, and so let's get started.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am thrilled with the collaboration between Let Our Children Go and also with Insight Channel. As you know, I
Listen to this story.
and especially to Mark, who has served this country patriotically and with honor, and also Jamie and Jacqueline both have served also. So thank you all for your service. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Well, let me go ahead and read your bio here and in a brief synopsis of your story. I'm going to show your family picture here. Jamie and Jacqueline Davidson are loving parents of 6 beautiful children and are both military veterans. Jamie received a Purple Heart for his service, and Jacqueline is a former volunteer court-appointed special advocate. On October 5th, 2022, Child Protective Services removed all 6 of the Davidsons' children from their home. A family court judge ordered the children back into the custody of their parents on November 1st, 2022. However, CPS was not finished with their pursuit of the Davidson children. On November 30th, 2022, a Priority 1 report was handed to the court, and the judge removed their children again. The children have now been in the custody of CPS since December 3rd, 2022. Egregious violations of the Davidsons' constitutional rights have been thrust upon them, and evidence of innocence is being suppressed. San Antonio, Texas attorney Derek Ritchie has been representing Jamie and Jacqueline and is pursuing a legal path to reunification. Jacqueline and Jamie Davidson, welcome to Let Our Children Go. How are you?
As well as what can be expected.
Yes, sir. Well, we'd like to just give you the floor here, and if you could just, we know there's going to be some legal things that are not to be discussed, but they will give us the gist of the story and where it is today. So let's start as close to the beginning as we can and why the children were removed.
Yes, sir. I was home with the children. My husband was at work in West Texas since June of 2022. And I had a knock on the door September 24th from someone claiming to represent CPS here in San Antonio. She had no paperwork. She wouldn't even tell me her purpose for being at my home. She just wanted to speak to our children. When I asked her what her purpose was there for, she's like, I want to speak to your children. Afterwards, I'll tell you why I'm here. I told her, is the perpetrator who's being accused anyone in my house? She said no. I told her, then sorry, you're not going to come into my home, speak to my children without a court order or a subpoena to see my children. And so she walked away, called her supervisor. She kept coming back to my door. I just ignored her. She even called my husband, Jamie, in West Texas to try to get him to force me to allow her in my home to speak to my children.
And when I spoke to him over the phone, that's when I started emphasizing our rights, that I at least want our children to have an attorney present before any questioning.
We got denied that. So turned her away. She left. I removed our children from public school September 28th. That was already planned because we just bought a new house and we were supposed to be moving in at the beginning of October. So September 28th, I removed the children. On September 29th, CPS went to my children's prior school to try to speak to them and get them to go to a forensic interview without our knowledge. That they didn't like that fact, so they went to and submitted a paperwork to the court to force us to take the children to be forensic interviewed. And that took place on October 5th. So from September 29th, when they tried to see my children at their school, till October 5th, and this was a priority 1 case so far, but they waited that duration to go to the court to get a court order to actually get us to show the kids. On October 5th, I had all 6 children at a doctor's appointment for my 9-year-old. He was at his specialty care that he sees a physical therapist, speech therapist, and occupational therapist. CPS called and demanded to see my kids immediately. And if they didn't see them by noon, they would go for legal proceedings to immediately remove my children, despite knowing that we were an hour away from our house.
So that to us already establishes no matter what occurs, there is an intention to remove our children.
Absolutely.
Because we've just been threatened, and we don't, as Marines, we don't like to be threatened.
And we still didn't know what the purpose of what the accusations were or who it was even against at this point. And we had yet to be actually be shown paperwork or identification to for this lady who's claiming CPS to be who she was.
And may I also add something? Jackie has been up for 3 days prior to this because not only was she sick, one of our other children were sick at the same time, and I was still in West Texas. So I wasn't able to help facilitate any of this whatsoever. So whenever any documentation was presented, there was no judge's signature whatsoever, just an attorney's signature. They were claiming that they had a court order. And whenever I requested that they either take a picture and send it to my phone or email it, they absolutely refused.
At 1:30, CPS on October 5th came to my door, gave me the paperwork that was supposedly signed by the judge. And like Jamie said, I was already up for days. And when I saw the signature, I already assumed it was by the judge. And I had told him, okay, fine, I'll meet you at the location at Child Safe in San Antonio for the forensic interview because we have nothing to hide. And that's when at 6:30 that night, I get told that they're taking all 6 kids because of suspected sexual abuse against a minor that does not reside in this house, physical abuse, and mental neglect on my 9-year-old.
And also keep in mind that when Jackie brought the kids to this facility, before that, they wanted to transport the kids to the facility, and they didn't even have car seats for the kids.
Oh my gosh.
And these are supposed to be professionals.
Yeah.
So,
Jacqueline, can I ask one real quick question here? You said that it was a child that wasn't in the home. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes. One of my children made an outcry to one of his specialists that he was being inappropriately touched by another child that does not reside in our home.
And they were saying that it was one of you, or assuming that it was one of you that was touching it. Wow. Absolutely
Correct.
Egregious.
Yes, the reason to believe paperwork that we received from CPS names myself and my husband as reason to believe for sexual abuse against all of our children.
With no evidence. No physical evidence.
None.
And so October 5th, Vasquez, the CPS investigator, claimed that she offered me a safety plan where the children could remain in my care and custody, just with supervision. She never offered a safety plan. Never did.